The Vedic secret of semen retention is not a new discovery, but an ancient truth preserved by rishis, yogis, and kings who understood that life force is the seed of greatness. In the Vedic scriptures, semen is referred to as ojas, the subtle energy that fuels the body, sharpens the mind, and elevates the spirit. Ojas is not merely physical fluid but the very essence of vitality, the hidden treasure from which courage, wisdom, and spiritual power arise. The Vedas teach that wasting this energy through uncontrolled indulgence weakens the mind, drains the body, and blinds the spirit, while conserving and transmuting it awakens inner strength, focus, and spiritual clarity. The rishis compared semen retention to tending a sacred fire. If the firewood is constantly stolen, the flame dies out. But if protected, it grows into a mighty blaze that can light up the world. In the ancient Gurukuls, young students were instructed in brahmacharya, the discipline of self-control, not as repression but as channeling energy toward higher purpose. They learned to redirect sexual energy into concentration for study, physical vigor for martial training, and spiritual devotion for meditation. Kings were taught the same discipline so that their aura, or tejus, would inspire loyalty and command respect. Even warriors on the battlefield were instructed to practice seed preservation, for they believed that the stored energy gave them fearlessness and indomitable will. The Vedas describe that 1 drop of semen is produced from 40 drops of blood, and thus its loss is not just physical but deeply energetic. Retention, therefore, is not about denial but about transformation, turning the raw energy of desire into the fuel for wisdom, creativity, and mastery. In modern terms, semen retention stabilizes hormones, balances the nervous system, sharpens focus, and builds resilience against stress. But beyond science lies the experiential truth that when a man retains, he feels different, more alive, more purposeful, more magnetic. This magnetic force was known to the ancients as ojas shakti, a radiant energy that uplifts not only the practitioner but also those around him. It creates charisma in leaders, brilliance in thinkers, courage in warriors, and devotion in seekers. This is why Vedic sages guarded the secret carefully, teaching it only to sincere disciples who are ready to carry responsibility. For with great energy comes great responsibility. A man who masters his seed masters himself, and a man who masters himself can lead others. To explain this in practice, let us look at the story of Devadatta, a young prince in Vedic India, whose journey reflects this eternal wisdom. Devadatta was the son of a wise king, but was restless, distracted, and often indulged in pleasures of the palace. Though he was brave, his mind lacked focus, and his elders worried he would not be ready to inherit the throne. One day, the royal guru called him aside and said, "Prince, you carry within you the treasure of kingship, but your seed is your crown jewel. If you waste it, your crown will slip. If you preserve it, your crown will shine." At first Devadatta did not understand, but under the guru's guidance, he began to practice brahmacharya. He avoided wasteful indulgence and instead channeled his energy into martial training, scriptural study, and meditation. The first weeks were difficult. His mind craved old habits, and he often felt restless. But with persistence, he began to notice changes. His sword arm grew stronger, his memory sharper, and his confidence unshakable. He no longer sought approval from others. His presence itself commanded respect. His aura seemed to glow with vitality, and his people began to look to him with admiration. When enemies threatened the kingdom, Devadatta led the army with courage and clarity, never faltering even in the heat of battle. He fought with a calm ferocity that inspired his soldiers, and victory followed wherever he went. His guru explained, "This is the power of ojas. What you feel is not just strength of body, but purity of mind and clarity of spirit. By guarding your seed, you have lit the inner fire, and it will guide you like a lamp through darkness." Years later, when Devadatta became king, he ruled with wisdom and fairness. His reign remembered as one of peace and prosperity. His people said that merely sitting in his presence gave them strength, for his aura carried the silent power of self. This story is not just myth, but a metaphor for every man's potential today. In a world full of distraction and indulgence, the Vedic secret of semen retention acts as the inner compass, guiding a man back to his true power. It teaches that discipline is not limitation but liberation, for the man who controls himself cannot be controlled by the world. The Vedic sages were clear: seed is life, and to waste it is to weaken life, but to preserve it is to multiply life. Modern men who practice this truth find that they can study longer with concentration, work harder with energy, love deeper with patience, and meditate more profoundly with clarity. Their aura becomes magnetic, their willpower ironclad, and their path illuminated. Just like Devadatta, every man can become king of his own life when he guards his crown jewel, his seed, and directs it toward greatness. This is the eternal Vedic secret. Semen retention is the foundation of ojas, and ojas is the foundation of power, wisdom, and destiny. Before we conclude, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to drop your location in the comments. I'd love to know where you're watching from. And if you ever have any questions, join our Telegram channel, where we interact directly and help each other grow. The link is in the description.